Sarah. So join me now to discuss is Terry Schilling, the president of the American Principles Project. Thanks for being here tonight, Terry.
Thanks for having me, Kara.
Great. So Democrats are pushing hard for abortion pop-up tents to be placed in federal lands inside red states now that Roe is gone. And many of those states had trigger laws, which have limited abortion access. What's your reaction to the insanity?
Well, we are seeing what we've known all along, that abortion is the ultimate sacrifice in their religion of progressive wokeism, human secularism. It is the ultimate. They want to have abortion everywhere they can, and they're willing to do whatever they can to get it done. This is $1 billion industry. They make lots and lots of money on this every single year, and they can't see it go away anytime soon because people's livelihoods are on the line, which is ironic because millions of babies' lives every year are also being put on the line as well. Like, Democrats aren't doing anything that's surprising here. We knew that this is the most important issue to them, but once we take it away, their whole house of cards falls down.
And that's exactly right. They're so used to ruling by judicial fiat, and now they think, oh no, our greatest tool is being taken away from us. But thankfully, this last 2 weeks now, we've seen a lot of really good rulings on guns, on abortion, and on prayer. I think it was Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene who made that formulation, but that's what we're seeing with the New York gun concealed carry law, of course, with Roe, and then recently, just yesterday, with the football coach. So a lot of really good rulings, but it's interesting to note when it came to that gun case that we saw the DOJ, they put out almost like a dissenting opinion, I guess you could call it, almost threatening the courts with saying, we disagree with how you're ruling on guns, X, Y, Z. It seemed very threatening and it was very strange. Well, then now here after Roe with abortion, we see Javier Becerra today, the HHS secretary. It almost seems like he wants to be leveraging some of these federal fundings. And I have one of his quotes here, and he was talking about some of these healthcare programs in states that receive federal funding. He's saying many cases, and I'm quoting here, include abortion care services under certain conditions. Do you think we're going to see the Biden administration, they're going to go down fighting on this one when it comes to abortion?
The Biden administration, because of their radical base and because they themselves have been radicalized, are going to do everything they can to keep abortion active and going at full speed in this country. And that includes going into red states, into federal lands, into federal clinics that they have. Military bases will be doing this. The Department of Defense, right, has said that they're going to violate this. Corporations are now offering to pay for women to travel to blue states to get their abortions. And the secret thing that no one's saying right now is that it's because abortions and covering that travel is a lot cheaper than paying a woman for her maternity leave and having her be out of work for 8 weeks. Listen, this all is very simple. We need to get back to basics. We need to prioritize our families, and that means prioritizing our children. In what crazy upside down world do we owe college tuition and housing and shelter and food to complete strangers, right? But we don't owe basically 9 months in the wombs to our own children. This is crazy. And until we get to turning this back around and prioritizing our own children, our own flesh and blood, things in America are going to continue to get much worse.
And sadly, you just see the nastiest side of people coming out when the topic is abortion. I just know leaving Starbucks earlier, I guess maybe I shouldn't go to Starbucks anymore. They're one of those corporations saying, hey, we'll pay you to go out of states if you live in a red state to go kill your baby. But when I was in the parking lot, I saw there was a vehicle and they had this big sign that they put up and it said that Justice Clarence Thomas should have been aborted, which I take as a death threat because that's exactly what they're threatening here. And it's interesting that Justice Thomas has taken a lot of flack, a lot of hatred, and he didn't even pen the majority opinion, though of course he did write as well, but he didn't pen the majority. That was actually Justice Samuel Alito, but he's been taking a lot of heat lately, a lot of hatred. The worst of the left has been coming out against him. I think it's because he's a very religious man, a very God-fearing man, a very great man, a very good man. But I have a clip I want to play for you and get your reaction to. It's what Hillary Clinton, I know, she came out of the woodwork once again, and here's what she had to say about the justice.
He's been a person of grievance for as long as I've known him. Resentment, grievance, anger. And he has signaled in the past to lower courts, to state legislatures, find cases, pass laws, get them up. I may not win the first, the second, or the third time, but we're going to keep at it.
So you're saying people pay attention to
yes,
this?
The people he is speaking to, which are the, right-wing, very conservative judges and justices and state legislatures. And the thing that well, there's so many things about it that are deeply distressing, but women are going to die, Gail. Women will die.
Talking about the projection we just saw from Hillary, the Queen of Grievance herself.
Well, the irony of Democrats saying that they wanted to abort Clarence Thomas is that Clarence Thomas is the exact demographic that the abortion industry has been targeting for decades. Planned Parenthood was established by Margaret Sanger to eliminate the inferior races. That's not my words, that's her words. And almost all of the Planned Parenthood clinics and the abortion clinics are not situated in rich, white, affluent neighborhoods. They're situated in urban, Black neighborhoods, minority neighborhoods. They want to eliminate poor, Black, and people of color all across this country because they represent a threat. We all know that being poor is not a death sentence in this country. In fact, Clarence Thomas came from very, very, very humble upbringings. He had an outhouse. He had dirt floors. He was raised by former slaves, and he went on to get one of the greatest educations and rise to the greatest court in the world, not just the land, in the world. And that is the big threat, because once poor people, and especially Black people, can rise up without government assistance, without government preference, that tears their whole house of cards down. So they have to abort these kids, and that's their main demographic that they're targeting to abort. They want to eliminate the inferior races.
And of course, we see Democrats and, everything that they do when it comes to elections, they will happily punch below the belt. But hopefully when it comes to Roe, this might actually backfire on them. I think they're hoping it might give them some kind of, not exactly a blue wave, obviously it's going to be a red wave in November, but I guess they're hoping they're going to get some kind of an umph of people getting out to vote in November after Roe, but I think it might actually backfire on them in more ways than one. Also because a lot of people are saying that all those blue voters who went to red states, never thinking twice about why they like the red states better than the blue states, and of course they carry their politics with them, that maybe many of them will now leave some of those red states because of abortion. And so I want to ask you, because you work with a lot of politicians and a lot of races, do you think abortion now will be a litmus test even more for a lot of these Republican politicians coming up? Because before they could say, hey, I'm pro-life, but Roe, that's a glass ceiling on us. It limits a lot of what we can do. Do you think now it's more of a litmus test for some of these Republicans and conservatives coming up to really take the issue of life and protecting it from conception till natural death seriously?
Well, frankly, I think that the issue of abortion has been so polarized over the years that most people who prioritize abortion rights vote Democrat, and most people who prioritize protecting the unborn already vote Republican. What this opportunity gives us is it's a chance to educate voters and let them know what the actual options are here. And that is to either allow abortion unrestricted up until the moment of birth, funded by taxpayers, for your 13-year-old daughter to get an abortion without your knowledge, or to protect children in the womb when they have a fetal heartbeat. That's what this is ultimately going to come down to. Voters are going to finally have a choice, an option to protect the unborn or not protect the unborn. And that's why I think that this presents a huge opportunity for Republicans and conservatives to grow their party, because the vast majority of Americans do not like abortion. They're very uncomfortable with it, and they definitely don't want it up until the moment of birth like Democrats do.
Well, Terry, I appreciate you dropping by tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.